First off, when we think of violence relating towards violence in kids, what things come to mind? If you're an experienced gamer and know quite a bit about this topic, you'll know that the Columbine massacres, the Virginia Tech massacres, and of course Jack Thompson and soccer moms come to mind. For those of you who don't know who Jack Thompson is, I did a rant about him a little while ago. He is a lawyer who is currently about to lose his job, to many of the gamers' delights, who made all sorts of ridiculous claims and acted like video games cause absolutely every single problem in the world. And the soccer moms, who, in my opinion, are horrible parents to begin with since they don't take responsibility for their kids, eat whatever he says up like candy. Now, first with Jack Thompson. Like I said, he makes false, well, not exactly false, but at the same time untrue. I mean, for God's sakes, this guy acts like everything is caused by video games. I think I read somewhere that he blames Tetris for violence in children too. Yes, I am being dead serious. And of course I mentioned before in my rant about him disliking The Sims 2 because it shows graphic content, which it doesn't, since everything important is censored out. Unfortunately, Jackie Boy seems to think that just because it's implied that something is there, because of the censoring, that it's graphic content, even though the guy who created The Sims 2 and The Sims in general stated that it's no different from Ken and Barbie. Jack Thompson still says that it's graphic. So what, that means we should ban Barbie dolls? Because I had plenty of those when I was little. Grew out of them really fast. Anyway, the soccer moms. As Big Al has mentioned more than enough times, along with Darkness the Curse and many other ranters, soccer moms do not want to take responsibility for their kids' actions other than blaming everything else. But when their kid does something right, they have to take all the credit for it. The thing is, they complain about how violent video games get into their children's hands. Now, I suppose we're talking about age groups around 12 and under, maybe a little bit older, but the games we are talking about are M-rated games. You know, games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, etc. Games like that. Turok, Mortal Kombat, I think Street Fighter. Anyway, not only do some of these soccer moms act like all video games are violent, but also these soccer moms don't seem to know how to read the rating on the box. And it's really, I mean, not only do they put a letter now, but they even spell it out underneath the rating. M, mature. How hard is that not to figure out? Some of these parents don't even bother looking up what the rating stands for and what do the age groups rate towards them. For example, I once had a little event happen, well, not an event, but whatever, situation come up when I was in Toys R Us. Now, the Toys R Us that I go to has the ratings up on big boards right above the cash register for all to see, and it shows what ages are appropriate for that rating and what could possibly what could be in a game of that rating. So of course, any parent who doesn't know what the rating system is would obviously be able to figure it out simply by looking up there, right? Wrong. I had an incident where I was in Toys R Us, and this mother comes up complaining to the staff about how they let her buy Resident Evil 4 for her 5-year-old son. Let me repeat that. This mother came in bitching and complaining to the employees about them letting her buy Resident Evil 4, a well-known gory video game rated M, for her 5-year-old son. God. It's like she expects the employees to ask her, "Oh, are you buying this game for yourself, ma'am, or are you buying it for a child? If so, what is their age? Because we want to make sure and do your job for you about whether or not this game is appropriate for him or her." Yeah, right. The employees are not going to ask you. You're the parent. You should be checking this stuff out on your own. And not only that, but this same woman had the gall to say, "Oh, I don't have time for this," when the employees told her about the rating, right? Because she didn't know what the M rating meant. Mature. Obviously, a 5-year-old is not mature enough to handle the graphic stuff in that game. Not only that, but these same parents don't seem to want to teach their kids anything about life. Well, real life anyway. They seem to think that kids will imitate everything they see, even stuff on video games. And you know, maybe if they sat down and talked to their kids about this sort of thing, maybe, just maybe, that wouldn't happen, you know? Violence in children is not created by video games. It's created by bullying. And it's created by parents who don't sit their kids down and teach them the difference between reality and video games. Something my father did very early in my life, especially since I was exposed to video games very early. God, hell, I was in a playpen when my father used to play video games in front of me. I think the first Zelda games. And not only that, me and him used to play together. And when he used to play Turok in front of me, and as many of you who've played the Turok series know, that's an M-rated title, an M-rated game. And at the time we were playing that series, the very first game of that series, I was well below the age for an M-rated game. But of course, my father sat me down and told me that what I was seeing in the game could never happen in real life. He told me that even though the raptor kept reappearing after he killed him, that does not mean that it'll happen to a person in real life. And you want to know what I hear the most from parents about this sort of thing? Why they don't want to tell their kids about this sort of stuff? I'll tell you. It's because they're afraid that they might put that idea in their head and they'll do it anyway. I think the parents should be thinking about a much more scarier concept. What'll happen if they don't tell their kids this stuff? I mean, if you tell your kids the consequences of doing this sort of thing, and it comes from you, the actual parent, it'll sink in. That's the same reason why parents are so scared to death to talk to their kids about sex. I mean, of course, it's an uncomfortable topic. I'm not going to be ignorant about that. It's an uncomfortable topic to talk about when it comes to parents and their kids. But it needs to be talked about or the kids could get hurt in the future. Same thing with violence in video games. And for people who bring up the Columbine and the Virginia Tech massacre, Cho Sung-hyu had psychological problems before that even happened. And he was bullied a lot as a child. And it wasn't the video games he played in high school for only we're running out of time. Damn it.